Perfect. So welcome to the masterclass today that is staying in your power. I'm just about to share my screen now in Canva. Bear with me because I'm not the most amazing when it comes to technicalities. But here we are presenting. Cool. So staying in your power masterclass. I'm really excited about this masterclass. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, and you.
Perfect. Awesome. So this masterclass is all about understanding the influence of energy and how to protect your energy. So I've prepared it pretty much in depth. So I'm hoping to stay within time. So welcome. I'm so excited to see some of you guys here. So today what we will cover is, first of all, who am I? For whoever doesn't know me, who are we? How our past shapes our future, frequencies and vibration, dense or light energy bodies. Are you an empath? And I'm so excited about this topic. Spiritual hygiene, Q&A, and a special offer. So welcome, guys. So my name is Steph. As you can see, lover of nature. I've lived in Australia for almost 8 years, and I'm originally from the Netherlands in Amsterdam. And my journey with spirituality and energy and all that started a long time ago when I was first introduced to a lady that did Reiki on my leg. Something happened with my bike. I must have been 7 or 8. And I totally did not understand what she was doing. And I was like, well, it feels nice and warm, but I have no idea. Anyway, fast forward, I had a girlfriend that did lots of tarot cards, and I was like, yeah, I'm a little bit interested in this, but not sure what all of this is. And she started talking about spirituality, and I was like, yeah, I'm not ready for it. I wasn't open to it. And then I moved to Australia, and then I started to connect a lot deeper to nature and understanding, like, oh my God, I grew up in Amsterdam. I smoked so much weed when I was younger, not in the best way, right? But like, not with intention, but still I did. So I was familiar with plant medicine. At the time, I didn't see it as medicine, but plant medicine. And when I came to Australia, I had a really bad staph infection, and I tried everything that I could to get rid of this staph infection. So I tried antibiotics, I tried topical creams, black self that pulls it all out. I tried everything and nothing worked. And for who doesn't know, staph is an infection that you get from the hospital. So at the time, I got it from my ex-partner. Anyway, so at some point, I heard someone talk about Kembo, and I was like, "What is that? I don't know what that is." And I looked into it, and then I could see that it could potentially help with infections. It could potentially help with candida. It could potentially help with inflammation. So I was like, "Okay, I'm going to try to see if that works, if that helps." So I did one Kembo ceremony. And after this one Kemba ceremony, my staph infection fully cleared, like never to be returned. And I was like, oh my God, like, why does no one know about this? Like, this is incredible medicine. And so this sort of launched me in the path of plant medicine. So I got to meet with San Pedro and ayahuasca. And yeah, I learned so much about like spirituality, about consciousness, about how all the different dimensions work. And I started to become more and more interested in energy bodies and energies. And at some point, I started studying yoga. I did a year-long course in Australia, actually, and they teach you also a lot about like how the yogic philosophy views life. And I'm going to get into that in a second because I'm really excited to share a philosophy with you that I really resonate with. So this was my yoga background, and then I studied neuro-linguistic programming to understand, okay, how does that actually work like on a mindset level, right? So body yoga, holistic view yoga, like really looking at consciousness yoga, and then neuro-linguistic programming to really understand what happens in the brain. So to just give a little recap, like last year in 2023, after living in Australia for 8 years, I came home to the Netherlands, really feeling like, does this still resonate for me here? And when I was here, I lived at the apartment that I'm in right now, actually, too. And business was great. Like I had done so much work on myself, like inner work, like I was in energetical alignment, like I understood how manifestation worked. And it really all clicked for me. So in January 23, I had my highest month in business. I did over 22K in my business, which was awesome in sales. And I was able to take my mom to Portugal, and we had the best time. It was so great to do something back for her. And so when we were on the plane going home, I tried to pay with my credit card or something on the plane. It didn't work. Anyway, 2 or 3, 4 days later, back home in the Netherlands again, I'm realizing, okay, I don't have my wallet. Where's my wallet? I don't understand. Like I remember that I used it in the airplane, but did I see it after? No, because nowadays you use your phone for paying everything, right? So I was like, okay, I don't have my wallet. Like, where is it? And I'm like, okay, going, you know how you go back to like, when did I last use it? I was pretty sure that I last used it in the airplane. I'm like, oh my God, I lost it in the airplane. So in my wallet, obviously my driver's license in there, all my bank account passes are in there. There was money still in there. Anyway, so I called the airline. I'm like, hey, like I'm pretty sure I lost my wallet. And oh, okay, well, we'll get back to you if we find it. But up until now, we haven't found anything, and it's already been 2 to 3 days, so it's not very likely that you'll find it again. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait and call back. So this was like 2 or 3 times. I called the airline back and they were like, no, sorry, we did not find it. I'm like, okay, but who is cleaning the airplane? Like, can I maybe get in touch with the people that clean the airplane? She goes, yeah, then you need to call the actual airport itself because they clean it. So I called the airport a couple of times, same thing. They were like, sorry, no, we didn't find anything. And at the time, right, like being so energetically aligned, understanding that I create my own reality. I remember that I sat at home and I was like, nope. No, like, no, this is not my reality. My reality is that I'm going to find my wallet. Like, I know that I will find my wallet. Like, I know that I create my own reality. And so I will find my phone. So stubborn as I am, I decided to, at night, quite spontaneous, drive to the airport. And I'm driving to the airport and I knew that it was going to close at like 8:30. I'm running around the whole airport, couldn't find this. Turned out to be in some sort of basement where there's all the lost and found stuff. And it was like a couple of minutes before closing time. I'm like getting there, like sweating, like, oh my God, like I finally found it. There was a lady behind the counter. I'm like, I lost my wallet. She goes, yeah, no, we're closed. And I'm like, yeah, but you should be staying open like for a couple of more minutes. And she goes, no, we're closed. She goes, but what you can do is check your phone, scroll, type in this, and maybe you'll find it. So I'm there and I'm like, okay. So I'm there like grabbing my phone. She's still in front of me. And I'm like typing in like, okay, I'm like, what do I need to type in? I typed it in, scroll, and boom, my wallet was found. So this is just such a testament to you create your own reality. Like there was like, I literally heard like not even joking, 5 or 6 times people telling me, no, sorry, we haven't found your wallet. Now, any other normal person would probably have said, okay, well, it just is what it is. Like that's just life. But I was like, no, I know that if I create my own reality, I know that I will find it. And so I did. I found my wallet. When I got my wallet back, the money it was not much. It was like 50 euros or something, but the money was still even in there. Now, if you are from the Netherlands or if you are from Amsterdam, that is so not likely. Like Australia, different thing. Like I lost my bag in Australia so many times on the beach and like always everything was still there. But in Amsterdam, like you have to be careful. Like there's pickpockets, people like I mean, breaking and entering is like the normalest thing in the world here. So I was like, oh my God, see, I create my own reality. And so I thought it was really important to share this story because it really testifies to doing the inner work, like being in energetical alignment really allows you to fully create your own reality because you are understanding that you are part of it. It's not separate, right? So that was just a little intro about myself. Like currently now I'm working as a mentor, which I love doing. And my path is now further taking me on plant medicine journey because now I'm actually a practitioner in Cambo because I love it so much. And it's done amazing work for me. And I'm currently in a really cool academy, the Conscious Journey. Actually, no, the Conscious Road, I think it's called in English. It's a Dutch course that I'm doing. And it's really about connecting deeper to all plant spirits and plant medicine, which is really exciting. So that's a little bit about myself. And now I want to talk about, okay, who, according to me and according to what I've learned so far and according to yoga, who are we, right? So if you look at yoga and the philosophy of the Samkhya philosophy, which I think is amazing, what basically yoga is saying that when we get here as little babies, we are the imperfect blueprint. So we are the perfect blueprint of existence. And from this, we have a dharma, and from this, we have karma. Karma are lessons that we are learning, good or bad. It doesn't necessarily need to be anything. And our dharma is our soul aligned path, is what we are meant to do here. But what happens, and I'm just going to explain in short because you see this picture in front of you, right? So basically what they say, and this blew my mind when I heard it for the first time because I had so many questions about consciousness, and then this answered all of that for me. So what they say in the Samkhya philosophy, that there is the whole consciousness, which is Purusha. It's like everything. So some people call that God, some people call that the universe, some people call that source. In yoga, they say that is Purusha. Then with Purusha, in combination with Prakriti, which is creative potential or matter, those together form Mahat. And with the vibration of Om, because that's really cool, because everything is vibration, everything is energy, someone becomes matter and comes into existence, right? So the soul enters the body, and then together with that, we have Mahat. And Mahat, and that's create, and there you have Ahamkara, which is the like the I am, like I am Stephanie, that is Ahamkara, like that is me, but I am made of Purusha, which is consciousness in itself, and Prakriti, which is my physical body here, right? I hope this makes sense. So with that, they also talk about, we have gunas, and the gunas are all these different ways of what our constitution is in our mind, and that is divided in sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Tamasic is matter body, rajasic is going, and sattvic is like where everything is more in balance, I would say. It's the middle. And then with that, we also have, if we go to Ayurveda, we can also look at the constitution of our bodies, and we have all these different doshas. This is a whole other journey by itself, but just so you know that yoga talks about this. With this, you have your dharma, and with this, you have your karma. And what they say in yoga is if you follow the 8-limb path of yoga, which, asana practice is only a very short part of that, you can come back to your perfect blueprint of existence. But what actually removes us from the perfect blueprint of existence, right? Conditioning, energetical imprints, downloads, programming that you get from your parents, that you get from society, from a very young age. Like, we are open like sponges, so we don't know what is ours and what is not ours. And if our parents tell us something or make us feel something, to us that is truth, because we are energetically so open. I'll get to that in a second too. So what happens is, we are on this path of, our soul aligned path, but then we have all this conditioning, all these beliefs, all these things that are actually removing us from the path that we are meant to be walking. Happens to everyone. So at the end of the day, all we are doing, and I say this to my clients all the time, we're just remembering what we already know, which is, at the end of the day, we are just love. This is what I believe anyway. So walking the path of self-realization and walking that path of, the 8-limb path of yoga, and one of them is, can't remember the name now, but it's really about studying the self, which is what I love, right? This is what I do for work. So what you need to know is, when we get here, we are the perfect blueprint of existence. And then we have lots of beliefs, conditioning, energetical imprints that are removing us from a true path. Cool. So what happens then is, how does that work? How does those energetical imprints work? Like, where are the core beliefs coming from? What is the programming? What is the conditioning, right? So this is when it gets really interesting. This is the mindset I want to talk about. We all have this RAS filter system, the reticular activation system. And basically how this works is that you have a core belief here, and you have a filter system. This filter system filters out about 90,000 impulses on a daily basis. So imagine walking somewhere and you've got your little baby on your arm and you're walking with your dog. There's a lot of things that are happening, right? Like, there's cars driving past, like you might hear the ocean on the side, the wind is blowing, someone's beeping. It's too much for your brain to comprehend. Like, it's too much, you can't. So what actually happens is, this RAS filter system filters out what is important and what is not important, what it actually knows and what it doesn't know in the unconscious mind. So, for example, the easiest way that I always like to explain this is, if you want to buy a red car, for example, and you go out on the street and the next day you see red cars everywhere. What this filter system is doing is saying, see, there's another red car. See, there's another red car. See, there's another red car. And I'm sure when you're listening to this now, you're like, yep, I actually really know what you mean. That's how it works, right? But that also means that if there's a core belief here around, for example, I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve this, this filter system is going to filter out all those experiences that will tell you, see, you don't deserve this. See, you don't deserve this. See, you don't deserve this. And so that will become a habit, and a habit becomes pattern, right? Because then you start to see the same patterns over and over and over again. This is how core beliefs are continuously to be energetically more imprinted in you, and how they are more ingrained in the unconscious mind, because you keep attracting that. So when we are younger, and I'm talking age, say when we are still in theater, so age 4 to like 7 or something, this is the age where we are super receptive to any energetical imprints. And the reason is that we don't know what is ours and what is not ours. So, for example, one of the examples that I always name is that I had a client and there was a family photo, and the mom was like, okay, you need to come in this family photo. And she goes, but I don't want to. And she goes, no, 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 but you need to come in this family photo. And she goes, but I don't want to. And the mom was like, I don't care, come in this photo. So in that moment in time, her belief in that moment in time was my feelings don't matter. My feelings don't matter. No one cares about my feelings. So what happened for her and the rest of her life, she started to attract all these external situations that said, see, your feelings don't matter. See, your feelings don't matter. See, your feelings don't matter. That is how those core beliefs are installed, right? But another thing that I see often with my clients is that, we go back on the timeline and we check back like, okay, what happened there? Who was present with you there? Usually it's mom, dad, when we go quite far back, right? And if there's a belief, then we dive into the feelings of the other people. Usually mom or dad has feelings around, failing, not feeling good enough. And as children, because we are so open, it could be that that belief is actually theirs, but we don't know the difference, right? So this is also why it is so important to do the work on yourself, because you are energetically imprinting, the future generation, just like you receive the imprints from the past. This is generational trauma, and generational trauma is epigenetics. It sits in your body, but also in this way, we energetically imprint, and we get imprinted by our parents. And these are those core beliefs. So, even if you have a belief around, difficulties talking about your feelings, it could be because you never learned how to do that, right? And because there is a belief somewhere there that it's scary to talk about your feelings, and that belief might not even be yours. So this is a very, like I always talk about this, and please, if you have any questions, keep them till the end, write them down somewhere and I'll discuss them. But yeah, this is the RAS filter system. So you can understand how this already is impacting how you create your reality from a mindset point of view, right? Important to notice. Then let's discuss frequencies. So if we look at these frequencies, right, on the map of consciousness, Dr. Hawkins is an amazing guy that did so much research on this topic. We can see that the lower parts are shame and guilt and grief and fear and anger. So when you have those energetical imprints, it could also be that you're holding a lot of anger from past generations, right? I am a perfect example of this. I never knew that I had so much anger in me until I started to do the work around anger. And this is when I realized, oh my God, it actually is not mine. It's from generations back in my mother's line, right? So it's really interesting to understand that, hey, like if I hold those energies with me, those dense frequency energies, I'm going to feel heavy. I'm going to feel stuck. I'm going to feel like I'm not getting anywhere in life. And these are the lower frequency energies. And what happens is, again, this filter system, but also vibrationally, if you have a lot of fear, anger, shame, grief, guilt, what you'll attract is the same vibration in your external reality. So this is why it is so important to clear out your energetic container of shit, as what I like to call it, by really going into those moments in your life when you experience lots of shame, when you experience lots of fear, for example, right? To understand what they were and literally remove that anchor so you don't carry that with you anymore. So this is a really interesting topic, because that means that if you can start to move up, and I don't really like to use move up and down, but this is just how it is. But I do believe that everything is not linear, right? So it's not, there's no better or worse. Let me put it this way. So as you start moving up in those Dr. Hawkins scale of consciousness, you're going to start attracting different things in your external reality, because energy will always want to level. So your inner alignment will start to attract experiences that reflect who you are, where you are, and what your energetic frequency is. So with that, it is also really interesting that if you are hanging out with a lot of people and say they are, in the fear, guilt, shame, grief energies, what will happen is that your energetic container will want to level with where they are at. So it is really important to maintain your energy level where you are at, because energy will always want to level, which means that their energy will come back to where you are. If you can hold that projection, if you are fully in your center, you know, and fully know who you are, and you don't get, you know, thrown off track by the energy of other people, which is what happens quite often. But if you know that this is how it works, and you can feel someone enters the room, could be a partner, could be someone else, and they are in a super bad mood, they just don't feel good, and you immediately feel like, oh my God, okay, because that's energy, right? You immediately feel, oh, okay, like this person's having a bad day, like, and if you are quite connected to your body, you will feel, oh, I'm feeling it in my chest, I'm feeling it in my belly, like it's a bit of a heavy energy, you know? But if you notice and if you are aware of that, and you can actually already start to differentiate between what is theirs, what is mine, you can maintain your energy level with where you are at and invite them to meet you where you're at. So just not giving in. And this is really, and I'm going to talk about spiritual hygiene a little bit later, how you can actually do this, right? But this is a really important distinction to make, because it will really show you and give you more insight and clarity around what is happening. And what I said in the masterclass as well, this is also what happens with, you know, you wake up in the morning, you're feeling a little bit shit, you spill your coffee, you hit your toe, you miss the bus, and the whole day is just a domino effect of, oh my God, what a shit day. It's because you're already now operating at a lower frequency, or lower at a frequency where you have a lot of frustration maybe, or a lot of anger, or a lot of, you know, and then you attract more of that. That's how it works. So I want to talk about this other analogy that I use often with my clients, and it circles back a little bit to, you know, the philosophy that we just spoke about. But I truly believe we all have this path to be walking in life, right? And call it like a path, and there's like a big white light at the end, whatever you want to call that. It could be your purpose, it could be death, like I don't know. Fill that in for yourself. We're meant to be walking this path, right? But what often happens is, because those conditioning, imprints, beliefs, all that, we are oftentimes a little bit scared to be walking that path, and we pretend to not see it. Or maybe we're so disconnected from ourselves that we actually can't see it. So what happens is we're going to go sideways. Oh, what's this? What's here? And we go a little bit sideways, and that's fine. But then you'll start to notice a little bit like, okay, things are not flowing so much, because when you are in this perfect path of alignment with who you truly are and where it is that you are heading, everything flows. Everything flows. There's no obstacles. Everything is perfect. Everything unfolds perfectly. Everything comes to you at exactly the right moment, divine timing, all this stuff, right? But if you go a little bit sideways, you start to see, yeah, okay, like it's not really flowing. It's okay, but it's not really flowing. I call this the nudge. So actually, you kind of already know something is not entirely right, and the universe nudges you back to your path. Oftentimes, most people will ignore this. And so they go a little bit further off track. And when they go further off track, the little obstacles become a little bit bigger. The obstacles become a little bit bigger. You might have an argument with your partner, and you might have friendship that, you know, are a bit rough. You might not be so happy in your career. Like things are just like, you know, it's like you're hitting wall after wall after wall. That's energetically how it feels. This I call the universe pushes you back. It's not a little nudge anymore, but it's like a push. Come on, back to where you should be. Face your shit. Face your demons, face your shadows, face what is there that you need to work on, so you can start walking on that aligned path. Sometimes people still ignore this. So what then happens is they go so off path, they go so out of energetical alignment, they are so far removed from who they truly are, that the universe has no other choice but to give them a smack in the face. And I'm sure that you can recognize where you are at, right? So the universe gives you a smack in the face, boom, burnout hits. Boom, you're divorcing. Boom, you lose your job. Boom, someone in your environment passes away. Boom, all of a sudden you have like a disease that is, you know, and literally, humbly, you're literally being brought down to your knees by the universe to just now do something about it, because that's not the path that you're meant to be walking, right? And I'm sure you all recognize this. And this, I call this like the tunnel. And as you can see, this is also the universe conspiring and helping you to come back to where you should be, your dharma, which is yoga, right? Your dharma, the path that you're meant to be walking. And you get there by self-inquiry, connecting to the body, by understanding how you work, by getting to know yourself, building a relationship with yourself. And so I just want to talk, and this is a very brief, short thing. So if you just quickly look back at the colors in Dr. Hawkins' scale of consciousness, I want to show you how everything is connected. So here in yoga, when we talk about the chakras, right, we can see how all these chakras and the root chakra, if we go back to here, is obviously shame, guilt, apathy. It's this like the foundation. It's the sense of belonging, it's really working on that so you can elevate. So the chakras, to really work on all your chakras, you need to move through all these energies to finally get to where you want to be. Crown chakra, connection to the divine. Can't really see what it says. Enlightenment, peace, right? Purple. So it's really interesting how all this correlates with each other. Here's another little thing, which is physiology, right? So breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis. That's the root. That's the baseline of life, right? So literally like the survival instinct, like everything that you need to survive. Then as you're moving up, like it's your family, health, property, security, employment, and then love and belonging. It's the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, sexual intimacy, so it's moving up in the chakra. So I just want to quickly, briefly talk about this because it's really interesting how everything is so interconnected with one another, also with nature. Oh, cool. This is the empath part, right? So I'm really excited about this. I first learned about this when I was in my NLP training, and I was like, oh my God, I so resonate with this. So many people will say, I'm such an empath. Like I take everyone's energy on. Like I feel what everyone else is feeling. And I'm sure that you recognize this. I feel what everyone else is feeling. If you look at the word etymology of what empath means emphasizing someone that is pathetic. So what you're basically saying is you're feeling in a certain way, right? And oh my God, I'm so affected by how you're feeling. You put the power totally outside of yourself. So if you continue to identify as an empath, automatically you're putting yourself in the passenger seat of your car, not in the driver's seat, because you're putting the power outside of you. Someone has influence on how you feel. No, 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 no. You have influence on how you feel. So a better word to use would be compassion. You have a common passion. And you're not saying, oh my God, I don't care about where you are. No, you can see where they are, but commonly you have a passion to get better, but you're not identifying with what it is that they're feeling, right? So remember the frequencies. Like if someone is energy will always want to level. By saying you're an empath, you're automatically already saying, oh my God, I feel what you're feeling. If you are in a lot of fear, oh my God, I'm feeling all the fear as well. So you're automatically lowering yourself. That helps no one. We are on a global scale in the world, elevating consciousness. We are moving up. We are, releasing so many energetical imprints. Like that's why so many people are like, oh my God, it's been such an intense time because we're forced to face the shadows. Where there is shadow, if you can bring light there, it transmutes, right? It transforms, the energy transforms. So remember the frequencies. If you say you're an empath and you're lowering yourself to where someone else is at, and then you have an effect on the people around you, it's not good. You want to keep your frequency where it's at. So when you say, hey, I feel compassionate towards you, can I do something to help you get to where you want to be? It's a way better way. And then we're talking about the power of words. And actually, I'm so excited because you can't see it. I've just ordered a new book. It's called You Are Not a Straw Man, You Are the Coyote. And it's really interesting because this book talks about a lot of words that we use. Because the power of words, and this is where my NLP training really comes in. The power of words is literally how you program yourself. So, spelling, if we look at the English language, spelling, it's casting spells. You're constantly, all day, every day, casting spells over yourself because we are made out of 60-70% water. So that's another whole thing that I can look into at another time. If you're interested in cymatics, you can see the power of frequency, what that does to your physical body as well. But also the physical body of water stores emotion and stores words. So there's a really cool guy, Japanese guy who studied water, and he spoke to the water. Two things of water. He spoke to one water really in a loving way, in a beautiful way. I love you, positive vibration. And to the other container of water, he said all these bad words, right? You're not good enough. I hate you, blah, blah. He then froze both of those containers. And the way that showed up after in the crystallization of the water was amazing. In this one, beautiful crystals, amazing. And this one, shit, looked like shit. So the power of your words are so important. That's why it's super important to understand, because we use understand a lot, but understand what that means, right? So in this book that I can share the resource if you want. It's really cool how this whole thing talks about like words in the English language, such as weekend, weekend. We use this all the time. Oh, I'm so excited for the weekend, weekend. You're constantly programming yourself with these things. And I have so much more in this that I'm happy to share. And so therefore, I'm coming to the power of affirmations. When you start to come more into energetical alignment, affirmations by itself, do they work? Maybe, but you have to do a lot of it. But the power of affirmations actually work when you on the side also do a lot of inner work to align yourself energetically with where it is that you want to be, right? So at the end, common passion, stop using the word empath, start using the word common passion. Words are super powerful. Yeah, morning and morning, exactly, Alicia. Like this book, you are not a straw man. I can send me a message on Instagram and I'll send you a photo of a couple of the pages with the words. Like there's so much in there, it's crazy. So continuing now, spiritual hygiene, super, super, super important. I can't stress this enough. This is also something that I really talk to quite extensively about with my clients, right? So grounding is the number one thing. Energetically, the Mother Earth transforms energy. And I've just recently learned, and this is really cool, that our energy, if that is a bad energy or a negative energy, the moment we give that back to Mother Earth, and I don't know how true this is, but this is an ancient prophecy, or an ancient sort of knowledge that if you give it back to the earth, people of Anubis will bring it to the core of the earth, and the core of the earth uses that to keep spinning, right? Don't know how true this is, but I love this analogy because energy can only be transformed. So when you have negative energy inside the body, you can ground yourself on the earth, and the earth literally works as a positive negative charge. I've just put in doco here. There's a really cool 15-minute short documentary that I can send out. If you're interested in that, send me a DM and I'll send the documentary out to you. It really speaks more into how important grounding is, not just for spiritual hygiene, but also on a physical level for the body. So really grounding yourself. So what I always say to my clients is if you feel this energy in your body, first, what you can do is check in. Is it yours or is it not yours? So literally close your eyes, tune into your body and be like, okay, 5 minutes ago, I actually felt fine. Now I don't. Is it mine? Is it not mine? Did someone just enter the room? Am I in a conversation? I'm feeling like, whoa, this is pretty intense. Check with yourself if it's yours or if it's not yours. If it is yours, go outside, ground yourself, literally visualize. This is what I do. I visualize my whole body energetically. I give it a color. Where does it sit? And I like literally combine all of that, bring it all the way down to my feet. Usually for me, it shows up as black, thick stuff. And I visualize that all of that coming out of my feet into the earth. Now I'm in the Netherlands at the moment, and currently at the moment it is the other day was 1 degree when I was getting in the car early in the morning. So obviously you don't want to be grounding barefoot. You can if you want to, but it's pretty cold. But another alternative of this would be to wash your hands. So if you are somewhere where you can't ground, you can't be outside, go to the tap and literally do the exact same process, but wash your hands under the tap. Really wash your hands under the tap. Like again, visualizing it all coming out of your hands and just flush it down the drain. It is not yours to carry. It is not yours to keep. Another great thing that you can do is at the end of the day, like when you are fully at the end of the day and you're in the shower, do the same thing the whole day. Just flush everything off, give it a color, flush it down the drain. It's not yours. If it is yours, great. It means that you can change it. So one thing that you can do, there's two options there. One thing that you can do is fully feel all that you need to feel and just dive into it. Where does it sit in your body? How does it feel? And not needing to go into the story, just literally in your body, being embodied in it, feel in your body where it sits. Because oftentimes the body is just trying to communicate with you that it needs to be heard and it needs to be seen and it needs to be felt. So when you do that, oftentimes after, I don't know, 90 minutes, 90 seconds, something like this, the feeling will just reside and you can just go on with your day. If you don't have time for that, if you don't feel like it, if it doesn't work, you can also switch states. So what you can then do is really close your eyes, go to a moment where you felt incredibly happy, incredibly blessed, incredibly happy and excited about life. Close your eyes, hold that, feel it in your body, like notice what it was like. What did you hear at the time? What did you smell at the time? Fully feel this in your body. Take a moment to hold on to this thought for as long as you can, and you'll start to see that in your state, excuse me, in your state, you start to switch. Another beautiful thing is the breath. Really allowing yourself to fully just breathe in and out, like allowing for that pranic life force energy to flush anything that is not yours. So really take a moment to pause, like, okay, I'm feeling a lot of things that they are actually not mine. Breathe, 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 and let it go through the breath. It's another great way to release. Another thing that I work with, which is really beautiful, is mapacho. It's a beautiful plant medicine. And from mapacho, they also make hape. Mapacho you can actually smoke, and it really allows you to energetically seal off your container like a smoke curtain around you. And hape is a beautiful powder that you that is blown up the nose. You can do it yourself or by someone else. Usually this is in ceremony. And it really also allows you to fully ground yourself magnetically, really pull you on the earth quite deeply and just cleanse your container of energy that is not yours, which is really interesting. Another framework that I use often with my clients is, before you go out or before you go into a very busy environment, before you're, going to a birthday, you're going to the mall or whatever, making sure that you actually energetically seal yourself off. There's so many ways of doing this. You can do a bubble, you can do a pyramid. I like to use a pyramid. So I just envision a golden pyramid of white light around me. And in this pyramid of white light is just my energy that I can send out, but nothing can come in. So visualizing this golden pyramid of white light, taking a moment to really visualize this, like feeling how you're feeling in this pyramid of light, and do this multiple times a day if you need to. And you'll start to notice and see that as you're going around your day and as you're practicing this more and more and more, it is so much easier to just bounce off other people's energies. Perfect. Q&A. So if there's any questions around this, please let me know. You can type it in the chat, or you can also just unmute. Or if you have anything to share, actually, that, says something about your experience, please let me know.
Hey, thanks so much. It was really, really nice session.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Do you have any questions? Is there anything that you'd like to share? Anything that you're like, oh my God, now I understand, or that's how it works?
Yeah, I was already a bit in this path as we had the private sessions. And
Yeah.
actually, I do have a question. Um, I try at least, I think I do, try to break the patterns of doing without thinking. And for third night on a row, I dream about my grandma.
Okay.
And that's really strange. And because I didn't dream about her in a year as much.
Yeah.
She passed 2 years ago in also
Mm-hmm.
November. And I
Mm-hmm.
dream about her in a sense that as she is exhausted and I'm trying to help her. And
Ah, okay.
and I don't know, does it connect to what I'm doing into this generational trauma? How?
Of course, because I'm currently working with Anastasia, so I know a little bit more about her background and like what's going on right now. So yeah, of course, like that's exactly where you are at right now as well, right? So it could definitely be that she's been through some experiences in her life that are energetically still affecting you now. And
Yeah,
that maybe she's trying to communicate with you, hey, you're on the right path, which is really awesome if you ask me. It's beautiful.
that's cool.
And I'm happy to have a little bit more of an in-depth chat about this on our next
Yeah,
session. Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah,
will be cool. Yeah,
yeah.
perfect. Alrighty, if there's no more other questions, I'm going to continue now. Perfect. So I'm super, super, super excited. You guys are actually the very first people to know about this because I'm officially launching on the 11th of November my new program, Enter Your Center. So as some of you know, I've been running the Journey Home to Yourself for such a long time, and it's a beautiful, beautiful program. But also, I'm ready to move on as I've changed so much after becoming a mom and all the new things that I have been able to see, and like how standing in my own power, like setting energetical boundaries, like is really like has been a much deeper initiation than I ever could imagine. And I'm still on this journey, of course. So enter your center is really about really stepping into that true alignment, really entering your center to from there fully, fully, fully create your own reality and really coming onto that path, like your true purpose, your dharma, really integrating all the parts of yourself that are keeping you off track, like the parts of you that are, drawing you into going off the path, and really coming back to the path and facing those conditionings, those beliefs, those energetical imprints to understand, okay, that is actually not mine. And clearing the path so you can move forwards with your life, which I'm super excited about. It's a 3-month container. It's a deep dive and it's one-on-one coaching. So it's really like one-on-one, like deep diving. And it's really about, getting super clear on who are you here to be and what is your true path here, and really getting clarity around that. And yeah, elevating you in the frequency so you can start living life more in those higher states of consciousness, in acceptance and joy and love and peace, so you can start attracting that more in your external reality, which I'm so excited about this. So at the moment, because you are now in this masterclass, and for the people that are watching this masterclass, this little side gig, I'm offering a €500 discount. So that is really, really, really cool because it's a beautiful program, and it's weekly calls. It is monthly. It's a 3-month program. It's weekly calls. It's unlimited WhatsApp support with voice messaging, and there's heaps and heaps of tasking included. So I'm so excited to be sharing this with you. And if you have any questions or if you are interested in this program after everything that I just shared, I would love to have a chat with you. I would love to work with people that have already done some inner work, that are on the journey of doing the inner work and are really interested in elevating in consciousness in those levels, as it's a container that is more so focused on expanding in consciousness and expanding in your spirituality and expanding in the knowledge and really unlocking all those layers of the puzzle that I call life, like this beautiful game, right? That we get to unlock all these levels. And if you're really ready to level up and to really start creating your own reality, and yeah, if this is you, let me know, shoot me a message. I'm sure this is going to be on the landing page as well. And thank you so much for the masterclass. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to know what you guys thought. Yeah, I'm going to stop the recording now.